Hasbro are really rolling the die when it comes to their Monopoly games now. This is Monopoly socialism. And Polygon.com are very, very annoyed by this. How dare you, sir? Monopoly Socialism, Winning is for Capitalists, is a new board game from Hasbro Gaming. It's one of the most mean-spirited board games I've ever played. What? Like, who describes board games as mean-spirited? Vanilla Monopoly itself is a dated, frustrating experience, even in the most favourable settings. This self-described parody version, which I purchased online and picked up at a Target store in the US, forgoes any pretense of being fun to play. Well, maybe if you're the target of the joke, then it's not that much fun, but maybe for people who view you as a joke in and of yourself, because you write for Polygon and are a socialist, well, maybe we'd enjoy it. Even as a joke gift, it's difficult to recommend. In Monopoly Socialism, there are no properties to buy. Good. Instead, the majority of the spaces on the board game are taken up with projects. Yes. A word that perhaps inadvertently brings to mind urban housing developments of the 80s and 90s. Well, for you maybe, but these are socialist people's projects, comrade. The game's brand of jokes relies on partisan political humour. Oh, fucking God forbid. Partisan political humour, when has anyone ever used that? Marvin Gardens and Park Place are nowhere to be found, replaced with the Healthcare for All Hospital and No-Tip Vegan Restaurant, and Together We Rise Bakery. What's wrong with that? It's just lampooning you. Players take turns rolling dice and moving around the board, just like regular Monopoly, but instead of paying for things on their own, virtually everything is funded with money from the community fund, which gets stocked with $1,848 during the game setup. Yes, that's a nice little shout-out to the Communist Manifesto, isn't it? The trick is that since there are only a few ways to put additional money into the fund, it dries up before much of anything is accomplished, then the game ends. So Polygon's problem with this is that it's not fun because they resemble that remark. Naturally, socialist academics had to leap in and tell everyone how uncomfortable this made them. On August the 21st, historian Nick Kapoor arrived on the scene, whereupon his well-considered take eventually went viral. He rightly points out the history of the Monopoly franchise as an anti-capitalist teaching game designed by a woman around the turn of the last century. And the irony is there's now a leading product line for Hasbro, one of America's top companies with more than $4.5 billion in revenue last year. So, something that shows you that capitalism is bad can be so popular, it'll show that capitalism's actually good? If your socialist monopoly doesn't succeed, does that also demonstrate that socialism doesn't work? The game was stolen by a male capitalist, the worst kind of capitalists, made even more brutally and unironically capitalist, and then sold to Parker Brothers, who later abused the legal system to get around copyright laws in a classic case of capitalist rent-seeking. You know what? I agree. Hasbro Brothers have really dropped the ball here. They've really fucked this one up. What Monopoly needs is to get woke. Women have barely invented anything. 90% of all patented inventions were invented by men. And all of those things from the past that you use without thinking about how old they are, or at least the original designs for them are, they were probably invented by men too. White capitalist men. Actually, that's not true. Loads of stuff was invented by non-white people. But it was invented by men, and that's a problem. Fortunately, most young girls are unaware of that fact. Why is that fortunate? Why wouldn't that give young women a sort of an inspirational oomph to go, you know what, I'm going to contribute to that. If for some reason I see inventions throughout history as a battle between the sexes, I'm going to do my part and invent something. Instead, it may be that they think, oh, half of stuff has been invented by women, so I don't need to do anything. I don't need to become an inventor. Maybe not raising awareness of this fact is holding women back.
If you look around at so many of the technologies that are available today, there's so many brilliant female minds that are behind it.
We will just take this to be true. And it's not at all a commentary on anyone else.
A lot of times when people think about our world, you think that all the knowledge has already been acquired, or how can you further it? But that's when inventors come into play. They constantly push the boundaries of what we think is possible.
It's important to imagine things that don't exist yet because you see the possible.
They constantly push the boundaries of what we think is possible.
That's true, and foolishly, I didn't consider this to be a gendered phenomenon. Turns out that it was, and I wasn't playing competitively this whole time.
It's important to imagine things that don't exist yet because you see the possibility for things to happen. You kind of let your brain be free. Who knows, maybe you can actually make it something real.
Well, I do support letting my brain be free, but I am quite annoyed that adults are once again using children to push their political message. If you stand by the thing that you stand by, why can't you, the adults, present the ideas themselves? Why do you have to try and use children to provoke our natural sympathetic response?
Back in the old days, women were in the kitchen, women looked pretty on the stage, but now women and girls are building things.
Now, women and girls are becoming men. Also, we can't find husbands, and this is also men's fault. You see, we still want to marry men richer than ourselves, and since there are fewer and fewer men who are richer than ourselves, men really need to up their game.
So I thought, why not I be the change that I want to see in the world?
Because one day you might want to have a family, and if you spend all of your time dedicated to your career, you don't get to invest in your family. And that means you die alone, with no husband and no children and no grandchildren. Becoming men is probably not the goal that women should aspire to. That's all I'm saying.
My name's Ava, I'm 16 and I'm from Ireland. I'm working on an invention that detects the amount of harmful dyes in soft drinks and sweets.
My name is Gitanjali, I'm 13 years old, and my invention helps detect lead in drinking water.
My name is Sophia. I'm 16 years old, and I'm working on an invention to detect sinkholes before they collapse.
I have to say that all these inventions sound really useful. I'm sure these are all completely true and haven't been fabricated just for this advert.
What's this?
What have you got there, Ava?
I don't really know.
Miss Monopoly.
Dear Ava, we believe in you and your invention. That's why you've been chosen to receive a first edition of the Miss Monopoly game.
Because you're just like the inventors inside this box, inventors who changed the way we live. We hope that you have fun playing the game and learn about the women who were once just like you.
In every Monopoly box, there's $20,580 in Monopoly money. When you're playing the game, part of the fun is wishing it was real. This time for you, it is $20,580 in real money.
What? Wait, $20,580 in real money? Use this to help bring this invention or any future invention to life.
Go girl, be who you are and bring this world some change, Monopoly.
No way, Ava.
See, it turns out those evil capitalists aren't so bad after all, are they? They are feminists. They are prepared to risk going broke by getting woke. This is so patronizing. What amazes me about this is like, oh, these young girls don't see anything inspirational to show that they too can be inventors. It's like, so we chose 3 young inventors. It's like, well, what? Shouldn't you have chosen 3 girls who weren't inventing things and helped them? Just seems strange that you would choose part of the small demographic that you're complaining isn't big enough and not widening that demographic.
Hasbro created a game that no other game maker has ever done before. A game that features Ms. Monopoly, whose goal is to make a difference by celebrating female inventors and inspiring young entrepreneurs everywhere.
Woke crowd, don't you just feel that this is the wokest thing? Feminist Monopoly finally. Celebrating women finally. Don't you just feel that this is what you needed from Hasbro? This isn't a way of extracting money from your wallet by abusing your sincerely held beliefs. Oh no, this is a way to help things, to make a change. That's what this is. Don't you get it? You fucking misogynists. Hashtag Ms. Monopoly. Hashtag It's About Time. Hashtag Invented by Women. Finally, feminism has been saved. Naturally, CNN are helping promote this. In the new game of Monopoly, women make more than men. Because that's empowerment, you see. Empowerment is holding back those people who do more work than you so that you seem more equal to those people who did more work than you did. One of America's most recognizable board games is getting an upgrade. Hasbro is debuting a new game celebrating women's empowerment, Miss Monopoly, marking the first time in Monopoly history when a new mascot will be featured on the cover of the game. The twist? In Ms. Monopoly, female players will get more money. Just fuck you, that's why. I guess I'll have to start identifying as female then. Unlike the classic game, women will collect 240 Monopoly bucks when they pass go, while male players will collect the usual 200. Because the idea is to create a game where women make more than men, the first game to do so according to Hasbro. Bravo, Hasbro! You wanted to create a game where women make more money than men, so you just thought, right, well, we'll just give the women more money than men. That's not them making it. They're not earning more money. This, if it were done the other way around, would be highly oppressive, patriarchal, sexist discrimination. But when it's done in favour of the women, now it's just a fun new take on the game that creates a world where women have an advantage, often enjoyed by men, which men actually don't have. Like, this is a thing that doesn't exist, but we've just created it to say that, look, just because women work about 15 to 20% fewer hours a week than men, that doesn't mean they should be paid 15 to 20% fewer in wages. That doesn't make sense, does it? That's not equality. Women should be able to work less and earn the same as men. That just makes sense, you misogynists. But don't worry, if men play their cards right, they can make more money too. What do they have to do? Overtime. They've got to work even more hours, which will contribute even further to inequality and justify an even larger arbitrary raise for the women. And you can tell that this is a sponsored article because this is literally the entire article. That's it. Just that. Like, if that's 200 words, I'll be shocked. But anyway, Miss Monopoly, it's definitely not shameless corporate pandering from a boardroom of people who are reading what's happening on Twitter and thinking that that's a market.